Good morning. We're talking about mandated reporting. If you are in a profession, in a work environment, we're going to talk about children today, but this also applies to adults, the elderly. But right now we're talking about kids. If you work in a school, a daycare, a doctor's office, whatever it may be, an after-school program, and there's a child that you see on a regular basis that you fear is at risk of abuse and or neglect, you are obligated to report that. You may see a child come in every day, dirty clothes, unbathed, kind of smelly. They may or may not have eaten. The child may or may not, let things slip because kids don't always have a good filter, and they can be very trusting, and they might say they haven't eaten, or that daddy or mommy or whoever was really drunk and falling down, and they were sick this morning and couldn't feed me or couldn't do the laundry, or I didn't get my homework done because I was helping mommy because she was throwing up all night. That situation, you have to do something. It's not a matter of you feel bad for the parent. I'm sure you do. But your allegiance is to that child and that child's safety and well-being. A school will call the parent and say, how can we help you? How can we support you through this? What can we do for you? That's fine. Because if the parent is an addict, if the parent is an alcoholic, if that parent is being beaten or abused or in fear of their own safety, they're going to lie to you. They're going to say, I've got it under control. We're going through a rough patch. It's going to be okay. I'm working on it. Do not believe them. Your obligation is to that child. I don't know how many times I can say this. Your allegiance is to that child. We all have big hearts. A lot of us do. And you want the best for the family. You want to keep that family together. Well, that can happen after the parent goes into rehab, after the parent gets clean, after the parent gets out of the abusive situation. But for right now, somebody needs to step in and save this child. I was talking to a parent yesterday, and I said, do you realize that if your child is at school, slips and falls on the playground, breaks an arm, all of a sudden we get a bad case of appendicitis and we need surgery, they rush that kid to the hospital and you're drunk, you're passed out, you can't sign that form. CPS will be called in. Well, that's the last thing this parent wanted. Then do something about it. Get yourself the help that you need and deserve. Get your child the help that they deserve and that they need. When you have a child, that child's needs come first. That child's needs comes before your addiction. That child's needs comes before your pleasing an abusive partner. Your child comes first and foremost. And it's up to those of us that are mandated reporters to ensure that child has a safe environment. If mom's passed out, dad's passed out, whoever the caregiver is passed out, and a kid goes in to fix soup on the stove, and there's a fire, we got a problem. If you are the mandated reporter and you know things are going on and you're keeping silent because I don't want to cause a problem. Oh, the mom says she's getting help. I believe her. Oh, but she's so sweet. Well, she can be sweet in rehab. Right now, we need to worry about this child. You need to pick up that phone and you need to do what you need to do. And you know I'm right. You may not be popular for doing this. You may make some colleagues mad. Can you believe she did that? I wouldn't have done that. Well, then you don't have the courage to take care of a child. You don't deserve to have the job you have. If you work in a school, if you work in healthcare, social services, and you see a child at risk, you are obligated to pick up that phone. Whether it's an anonymous call or not, I don't care. You are obligated, because if something happens to that child and the authorities start doing their investigation, and we know they will, and it comes back that the school knew, well, why didn't you say anything? Well, we thought, we offered, we did this, we did that, but you didn't pick up the phone. Well, no. The doctor's office. You knew the child had bruises. You knew the child had, this and that and this and that. Well, yeah, but we thought, we didn't know. The mom said, the dad said, pick up the phone. You are a mandated reporter, pick up the phone. And in many states, and this is how I personally feel, every citizen on this planet is a mandated reporter. If you see abuse, if you see neglect, pick up the phone. Because too many times, somebody at the school won't. Somebody at the doctor's office won't. A child's life is worth being saved. Let's get them in a safe environment. I know the system isn't great, and there are so many problems with it. But right now, that's all we have. And if there is a next of kin, somebody that, a family member they can send the child to, as a rule, social services will work with the family to make that happen. But we can't leave a child in a neglectful situation, in an abusive situation, in a dangerous, toxic situation. As a mandated reporter, pick up the phone.